Hello everyone, this is Bonnie Jeanne, also known as PostMuse, and my channel is Postally Yours. And this is my FlossTube number 4. And it is December, you'd think I'd know the date, wouldn't you? December 29th, 2022. And this is my last FlossTube of the year. So, it's very cold. And I know I have it a whole lot easier than most people in the U.S. It's not nearly as cold out here in Cape Cod as it is in many places across the U.S. We did not get the snow. We did get a lot of cold and wind, but we didn't get snow like a lot of other people did. However, it is bone-chilling cold, and when I come in from my postal route, all I want to do is get into my snuggly and just curl up and cross stitch. So I got this for Christmas. I had resisted these things forever. I was like, I'm not wearing one of those silly things, but here I am wearing one. And I have to say, it is warm and it's cozy, and it has a great big huge pouchy pocket in it, which is great for putting all kinds of stuff in there, you know, treats and, you know, my scissors and all that kind of stuff. So it has been wonderful, and I'm glad I got it. I have switched my camera around a little bit for today because lighting is a problem when I have the camera facing the windows. Until I can start getting my videos done in daylight, I need to have it around this week. This next week I think will be easier. It won't be as chaotic. I keep saying that. It won't be as chaotic, and I can perhaps try to get the FlossTube done before the sun goes down. So I keep thinking, so I was stitching up stuff this week, and I was thinking, the next time I kit up all of my seasonal stitchings, I'll be kitting up for spring. How wonderful is that? I mean, that just, it seems like it makes the whole winter go by a whole lot faster, thinking about the next time I stitch up, I'm stitching up spring. Which brings me to my Silver Creek sampler, and this is No Winter Lasts Forever, No Spring Skips Its Turn. And I just got a very quick start on this one. It's called Onyx, so it is black, and the fabric is tarnish. Linen, 28 count linen. It's called tarnish, so it's black on tarnish, and it's mostly this color. There are some other pops of color in there, and some white, obviously, for snow. And I really like stitching it. It is a darker fabric, so I can only stitch it when I have daylight, but that's okay. I'm good with that. It is coming along nicely. I'm going to really enjoy this. I don't think I'll have any trouble at all getting this one finished before the end of winter. And then from that, I was determined to get some work done on the Kooler Winter Cat Sampler. And what I was hoping to do was to get down here to this cardinal. I really wanted to get, him. That's what I really wanted to get to, is the cardinal. And I didn't. Surprise, surprise. I only got down to just almost to the mailbox. I have mailbox on the mine. I got down to just the start of the birdhouse. This is a fairly slow stitch. I am not used to doing stitches where there are so many floss changes, so it's taking me a little bit longer than I thought it was going to take, but I'm enjoying it. It's a nice stitch, so I'm not complaining. It's fun to stitch, so that's good. But it is going to take me years to finish. Although I say that, and then I start wondering, well, once I get through all of these seasonal stitches that are shorter, then I'll have more time to stitch on, you know, I say that, but I'll probably have a whole bunch of other new starts at the same time, which brings me to my new start last week, was the Winter Alphabet by Lizzy Kate. And this is super cute. And I was stitching away on it, and I was like, man, I'm spending so much time on this one, which is not a bad thing, but I had so many other stitches, but I was really enjoying all the different borders and everything on it. It's really, really, really cute. I'm going to super, super, super love doing this. This is her winter one. She does, I'm sure she has a spring one. To be honest, I think I want to try to stay away from doing the spring one because I would like to find a fun spring themed alphabet, but I don't want to go the same route that I've gone all the rest of my time with stitching the exact same designer 4 times, you know, for the 4 different seasons. I think I'd like to find something else to stitch for spring, something floral. It doesn't even have to say spring, but just because this one here, it doesn't actually say winter on it. It just has some winter motifs on it, which I think are really, really, really cute. Oh, speaking of, no, I'll talk about that later. I'll talk about that when it comes up, which is next. So last week I got to do my very first Fancy Folk Stitch Along Zoom meeting with Stitch New England, which is my local needlework shop, and it was a lot of fun. This is the project that I'm working on. This is Nora Corbett's Miss Spider, and she's adorable. And we all got together and stitched together for a while. I had to sign off before everybody else because I was exhausted because it was a crazy busy week. And I didn't get a lot done. In fact, that's all I got done. Just a little bit of her dress. This is part of her sleeve here, and that's another part of her sleeve. But I enjoy. It only meets once a month. I will stitch more than once a month on this. I didn't pick it up again after I put it down last week because it was just so crazy with the holiday. But I was asking the folks, there are so many fancy folk that are female oriented. And I was thinking, you know, I'd really like to do, you know, something with a guy in it. And there were some suggestions about Santas, because Santa's a fancy folk. And there was a suggestion about mermaids, a couple of male mermans. But that doesn't really thrill me. But then I remembered, a while back, I started this. This is Good Omens. It is a book that was made into I think, Netflix television series. And it's written by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman, 2 of my favorite authors. And they're kind of fancy, don't you think? I like them. They look very fancy. This is I will put the name of the pattern designer. I don't know that the pattern is still available. I think she did it, and then I know she got permission to use the design, but I don't think, I think somebody stopped her somewhere along the line, so she couldn't sell it anymore. She was okay with the ones that she sold. This is a big project, and I started it, like I said, a few years ago. About 2 years ago, I guess. So that's where I've gotten so far on it. The 2 faces are done, and one of the corners. I'm doing it on the linen that already has the lines already on it because this is a full coverage, and it's not linen, it's Aida. It's a full coverage. I figured I don't need to worry about what the fabric looks like. It's just going to be full coverage. This will take me forever. So when I finish Miss Spider, I think I'm going to pull this one out. So this will probably be, I'll probably be pulling this out February, March, and work on that for a little while, for the rest of the year, for the fancy folk. I think it's fancy enough. until I can find something. I did see a wizard that is from Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, and I like him. He's very goofy. I like him. But I am on the lookout for a fancy folk that's a guy that's, you know, kind of on that Nora Corbett kind of line, like, you know, very fancy with frills, and I think it'd be fun. And then I got just a little bit more done on my little kit that I bought with the seasonal chairs. I'm working on the winter one, which is down here in the corner. And the border, stitching the border has been so much fun. Just stitching winter, 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 winter all the ways along. I really love it. This is going to be kind of like a little lacy curtain that goes down here. The chair will be over here, and the winter will go all the ways down and around. I'm really enjoying this. It is a fairly slow stitch again. Another one of those patterns where there are a lot of floss changes, and I'm not really good with that whole parking. I've tried. It hasn't worked for me, but I will keep trying. And then my one and only finish last week was my special delivery. Oh, I really have to do this in the daylight next week because the lighting is just horrible. So this is the special delivery. I do want to outline that white border on the postage stamp. I think I still will do that with the maybe a light gray, just because I want it to pop out a little bit more. I've done that on the other ones. I love this one. This is January's. It's adorable. She looks kind of like me when that was the color of my hair wasn't quite that red, but that was the color of my hair when I was young, and I always wore it like that. And I didn't skate like that, but I tried. I thought I was Dorothy Hamill. I did get the Dorothy Hamill wedge when I was a kid. It came out cute. I'm very happy with it. These stitch up very fast. So for February, I cannot stand Valentine's Day. It's my least favorite holiday. It just drives me out of my mind. I hate that whole focus. So this is the design for February. I'm going with it because it is very vintage looking, and I'm okay with like vintage Valentine postcards. Those are pretty cool. So I will go with it. I will continue with make that one up. I just dread Valentine's Day. It's just not my thing. Not my thing at all. Then from there, I got a start on Scatter Snowflakes and Warm Wishes. This is the winter of the Shepherd's Bush series. Well, I'm calling it winter. I think there are other options for winter. And I am stitching it on this wonderful fabric. That's all I got done. I just got a little bit of scatter and a little snowman that's going to go in there. And the color is Dense Fog, which is kind of perfect for Cape Cod in the winter. We get a lot of fog. I like it. It's a nice fabric. It's a little stiff, but it's gonna work out. It's gonna work up nice. I like stitching. I like that grayish color and the blues and the white. It'll be very pretty. And I only got a little bit more stitched on my the From the Heart postal floral postcards. This is December's. This is the poinsettia. I got just a teensy bit more stitched on the poinsettia. I use this fabric all the time, and I noticed that this week's dye work and the Country Garden flosses, they feel so much thicker. They're stitching, I mean, I could have probably gotten away with one strand rather than two, but I've already got this much done, so and I kind of like a chunky stitch anyway. I might try when I do January, which I'll be starting next. I think I'll try doing it with one strand, see how it looks. Save my pocketbook too. thing about the, I haven't finished any of the postcards yet. I've come close on the other months. This month, this December, I really didn't get a lot done on. On the other months, starting in September, I've done very well. I'm going to really push in January to get the January floral postcard done, because I'm putting this one away. This one I won't be picking back up again until next December. And then I am on to Lizzy Kate. I am doing the winter, which is down here. This is the one that I make into the little lantern that I have. You can kind of see it right behind me over there. And somebody had commented last week that I should move the thing down to the bottom so that the candle shows, and I thought that was a great idea. Thank you very much. And I did that. I'm going to move that down. And I want to get 4 different LED candles for the inside of the lantern, so that I have, because the candle's going to show more. And I thought if I, get a blue one in the winter, for the winter time, kind of a bluish cast, and then maybe a bright sunshiny yellow for spring, and go with the white for summer because it's nice and hot, and then autumn go with orange, just to give it a little bit more oomph. Or then again, I might just stick with the regular one. So this is I didn't get much more stitched on this one. This is I just did a little bit more on the flower pot on that one. This is a fun stitch. It'll stitch up quickly. Not too worried about it. And then my last thing that I stitched this week is Carolyn Manning's Tree Crazy. I am struggling so much on this one. It's my choice of fabric, I'm sure, but I'm not giving up on it yet. The blues just don't show up against that blue fabric. Well, especially this, the white is okay, but this blue right here, this little tiny bit here, I stitched that about 6 times. I stitched it and then took it out, and stitched it and took it out. I'm going to take it out again. I just don't think that the colors are right. So there's a gazillion blues I can choose from. So I might choose just a wee bit darker blue. But I thought it was funny when I was looking at the colors. This is the color palette for, oh my goodness. Well, anyways, that's the color palette for winter. It's all blues and light blues and whites. And I had already pulled out the color palette just because I wanted to see how it would look for spring. Look at that. So, couldn't get more different. So this one's going to look fine on that blue fabric. I have plenty of material that I can stitch the spring one on that same material. So this will look fine on it. I'm either going to change my mind on the fabric on the winter, or I'm just going to go through and look for slightly different threads to finish that off. Maybe deeper blues on some of those blues that are really blending in. See if I can get that to work. Might not be a project I'll do next week. I may just wait and think on it. I might just finish stitching the tree and then put some of the darker blues on it and see if I'm liking it with the darker blues, and then who knows, I may be ripping the whole thing out and starting all over again, and that's okay too. I'm not concerned about that. There's a word that is used in the stitching community, frog, for ripping out stitches. I get why it's used. I get where it comes from. It's just, I don't like the word. I think it's one of those words that causes confusion with people who are new. They don't get it. So when you're reading forums or you're listening, people are constantly asking, well, what does that mean? What does that mean? Same with orts. When people talk about their orts, they're fabric threads to me. Thread remnants to me. I don't typically call them orts, just because it kind of leaves people out and makes people feel like that when they ask the question, like, oh, that question gets asked a million times, and then they feel like they're dumb, or they are not in the know, and it seems exclusive. So try not to use too many of those words. Work in progress, WIP. I will use I will say work in progress. Don't typically use the word WIP. However, I did just buy a sampler that says whip it good, like the old Devo song. I will show that in a couple of weeks when I show some of my newer purchases that I made with a gift card that I got from my daughters. But next week I'm going to pull out some of my older work in progresses. Some of the ones that I've had for going, well, some of them about 40 years I've been working on. I started working on 40 years ago and are still not finished. But I only recently found, when I was moving from one house to another, I found a whole bin full of all kinds of projects. So I'm going to show some of those next week and talk about them a little bit, because it is the new year and I have my new theme, which is alphabets, and I want to be more thoughtful about what I buy. I think we all say that in December. We say, you know, come January, I'm going to be more thoughtful, but I really do want to try this year to be more thoughtful about what I buy and not like jump at every seasonal or jump at every tree pattern, or just kind of think about it, get things that I've already got done. I get that whole fear of missing out thing, and you know, if you don't buy it now, you're not going to have it. But I think I have enough. I'm happy with what I have to work on. And case in point, there's a new series out, oh gosh, Cottage Garden Samplings, I think. And it's a snowman series. And the first one that came out in December. And I almost jumped on it. I was like, I have to have this. It was a snowman that had all kinds of sewing supplies and big heart of buttons on, you know, stitched buttons, and a little old-fashioned sewing machine. I thought it was just the cutest thing. And it's a new series. And I thought, ooh, another every month thing. Very cute. And I almost bought it. Came very close to buying it. And then the second one came out in the series, and it's a clown. And I don't like clowns. Just don't like them. Just don't like them. So I thought, well, okay, I'm never going to stitch a clown snowman. Never, ever, ever. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't jump right on that snowman. I may give into it as a standalone for next year. But I'm going, like I said, I'm going to be more deliberate and really think about what I buy and what I have and how much wall space I have. And if I ever do finish all of these works in progress, where the heck am I going to put them all? So we'll see. We'll see how the year goes. I will say that doing the floss tubes kind of keeps me accountable, so that I know that during the week I say to myself, well, you've got to have things to show, so, you know, keep rotating through those projects. Don't just sit on one for a long time and make a few stitches and then put it down. So we'll see what happens. I hope you're all staying warm. I hope those of you who have had snow have all shoveled out. Let's hope that the new year brings a little bit of a warm-up for the whole United States, so that, and any other places in the world where it is colder than usual or snowier than usual. It has been a fairly mild winter for us here so far in Cape Cod, on Cape Cod. It typically is. I kind of miss the snow sometimes. Then again, I don't have to drive in it, so that's a good thing. So I will see you all next week, and I hope you all had a great holiday and you're all nice and cozy and warm. Bye.